Hey yo, it's your boy Los. Let's get it.
My life and made a mess of it. Yes, I possessed the gift, but I invested it into trying to flex and drip. I set my mind on getting rich and buying diamond necklaces, trying to drive them Lexuses. Then I got the bag, but still felt the side effects of this spiritual type of deficit. That's when my depression hit. I was feeling down till my friend Lionel stepped in with the good news. In his car, he played them type of records that convicted me with truth from the Bible etched in it. Truth, Crave, Phonetic, Jafia, did I mention Swift? They said that Christ did not require my prerequisites, and eternal life with the Messiah Christ was effortless. I thought, how could I deny this precious gift? I was in sin, but said it's time that I repent from this. That's when I had climbed the highest precipice and dived inside the depths of his love. Goodbye to wretchedness. You're probably asking, why am I addressing this CHH topic? Why do I deny the death of it? It's because I seen the Most High provide his message with this art form. It saved and revitalized this reckless kid. I've tasted the fruit of the truth it conveys. Its message can point the youth to Yeshua that saves. It's an alternative to what we hear in music today. As long as we do what we do in his name, then CHH ain't dead.
Alright, so as you can see, we're talking this dark morning about Datin's latest album. I don't know if I want to call it an album actually, but Datin's latest album, Christian Hip Hop Ain't Dead. And if many of you probably already know, but this stems from a conversation he had actually about a year or so ago. He did a freestyle basically talking about Christian Hip Hop Ain't Dead and why it's so dear to his heart. And then he put out a single basically talking about the same thing, Christian Hip Hop Ain't Dead. And he named a boatload of just dope MCs, man, from Christian hip hop that have carried the torch, and even some new cats that are gonna keep the torch going, and named a bunch of dope female MCs that are just killing the game. And he did a good job. He did a really good job. I'm not gonna front. I was a little bothered and shocked by the ton of raps being put into the category, only because I never personally this is just me, I never viewed them as Christian hip hop. The reason being is because for me, Christian hip hop is not just for someone to say I'm a Christian MC. It's for me, it's more than just you just saying that. I feel that to be labeled a Christian MC, you should, like, your bar should actually be about glorifying God or Christ, or however you want to label it. Because you think about, this has been said before and I said again, a gangster rapper glorifies gang activity, so you call him a gangster rapper. Conscious rappers glorify, the conscious mindset, the social justice warriors, and so on and so forth. And so you label them conscious rappers, and so on and so forth. And so for an individual to carry the torch or the title of Christian rapper, how I view it, you should rap about Christ. Like the main mission of your music should be about glorifying the Lord and spreading the gospel from the highways to the byways. That's just me though. And so, no disrespect to Tunnel Rats, they definitely did their thing. Morrissey, all of them definitely did their thing. I just don't categorize them as Christian rappers. That's just me. But anyways, so all this here stemmed from him basically picking, having a bone to pick with MCs in some in Christian hip hop, but mostly secular hip hop, stating that basically Christian rappers can't bring it like they bring it. I believe, can't say for certain, but I believe some of this has to do with Andy Minio's statement about how basically Christian hip hop was whack before him and Lecrae kind of came around, 116 in a sense, which is mad disrespectful, but a statement made, and so I think some of his anger came from that as well. If not, I know a lot of other people were upset about that, and so that plays a part. But anyways, and so this here is basically the answer to his viewpoint as to, can Christian rappers bring it? And he's like, yes we can, and let me show you. This is a very star-studded album. We got Eshawn Burgundy's on this bad boy, and he killed it. SO killed it. Michael Peace, if you don't know who Michael Peace is, he was one of the members of Freedom of Soul. Group came out in the 80s. You got Freedom of Soul, Idol King, SFC. It's just DJ Cartoon. It's dope, man. There's so many cats that came out back then. PID. And so Michael Peace came amongst that camp there. ETW, End Time Warriors. They were basically just dudes who basically did then what many cats aren't doing today, which is made their complete album about the glory of the Lord, introducing Christ to a world that does not know him but yet desperately needs him. And so it's good to have him on here. Camp Front, I wish my man Super C, I shout out him. I really love talking with the dude on Facebook. He's not really walking in the in things right now, so it made sense to not have him on it. But I wish he would have been good, because I think he was definitely a pioneer. Soup, man, and DJ Dove, man, definitely paved the way for where things are today as far as Christian hip hop is concerned. But Michael Peace is on here. He's on the interlude. Also, he's on the outro. Just basically expressing, his real quick his thoughts on Christian hip hop and so on and so forth, and how things were briefly, back when. And I think he did a dope job, man. It was just dope. He even spit a little verse at the end though, which was actually dope as well. But so Michael Peace on this album. 1K Pew was on this album. Forgot her name. I'm so sorry. The new lady of 116, Wanda? My bad. I'll put it right here. But she's on this album. Really, I mean, I could spend all day telling so many folks on this album, man. And it's actually a dope album for what it's just dope album. I was very much impressed. Bizzle's on the album. Bizzle was probably the only one that I said I was disappointed in. I don't think Bizzle didn't give us per se the Bizzle we know and we've grown to love and enjoy. He was alright, but I think he just did it. I got the impression he just did his verse for the homie. Like, yo, you my man, you asked me to get on, bet, here I am. You know what I'm saying? I didn't take Bizzle's verse. I expected more from his verse. To me, it was just like, kind of thrown together. It was alright. It just wasn't what the Bizzle that I wanted. Like, I was eager to hear that song, and he just didn't give the bars that I would have expected him to give. But like I said, there's a lot of people on this album, and for the most part, man, Christ is definitely glorified. Man, turn to Christ, receive Christ, the whole nine was spoken in this album. And so I love that about this album. I love the fact that this was definitely a Christ-centered, all about the gospel album, and I loved it. No hard feelings about that. Nothing negative about that at all. Man, my favorite song, actually, I have a few of them actually. It's a pretty long album too. I've heard this album repeatedly since Friday. I think my favorite song is Back in the Ring. Man, Datin is a problem. Like, I've said it before and I said it again. Out of God Over Money, even when throw Hog Mob into it, I think Datin is the dopest MC. Now, in my personal opinion, I think Seven put the dopest album out with Purple Heart, but I think Datin is the dopest MC they have on God Over Money, and he proved it on this album here as well. Just lyrically a dope MC, man. I love his word game. I love his way his mind moves, and how he reminds me actually on a song about the Martyrs with SO. And actually a couple other cats on there too. He kind of came out sounding. He reminded me of M, an old Eminem style. I think it's M. I want to say M. I'm going to stick with M. I've been trying to, since hearing the song, I've been trying to figure out who does he remind me of, and I'm pretty confident it's Eminem. And so he kind of came out at the beginning of that song just beautifully, man. I loved how his whole cadence was on that song, the album in general, but that song in particular. He just spit, and he rolled the beat beautifully, man. I was really impressed and really enjoyed, and the theme of that song was basically, we love God so much that we would die for what we believe in. And if you know SO, he definitely down. And so it was beautiful just to hear both of them go back and forth on that, just their love for the Lord and the willingness to catch a bullet if need be, solely for the glory of the Lord. Just beautiful song, man. But Back in the Ring was a dope song to me because I am a fan of battle rap. Now, granted, be straight with you, I haven't listened to it in a while. I'm the kind of dude where I don't really listen to a lot of music that got a lot of cursing in it. It's just not me. I prefer to get the edited version. But battle rap, you're not gonna really find too many authentically good. Ruslan, he's on this album too. But you're not gonna find too many clean, battle rap, you know what I'm saying, songs or battles or whatever, right? And so I kind of stepped back from it, but I love the creativity of it. I love the mindset and the inner workings of battle rap. And I love that. I'm really a huge fan of the art form of it. And so back in the ring, in a sense, if you know anything about Datin, he started off on 106 and Park. I think he became a champion a couple times and just murdered cats on that. And he kind of had that presence in this song here where he just went at it, man. It went at nobody per se, just went at the mic in a sense and just dogged it out, but for the glory of the Lord. And I really enjoyed it. I was really impressed by that, man. Just a well done album. Well done album. First song, my man Cannon on his album too, sorry. Song called Moving, like the second song, which is actually a dope song as well. I love the fact that Cannon has overcame, the incident he was in before, and, his jaw was broken. If you know Cannon, he's like Bone Thugs and Harmony's, fast with it. And so he wasn't as fast as the old Cannon, but he still just wrote it just beautifully and still kept his style with it. And I think he just did a phenomenal job, man. I'm really bragging on this album because it's such a... So this weekend, me and the family went out because it's sunny, and I'm in Georgia, Chattanooga, Tennessee, but I live in Georgia, right on the border. We opened up, and so people was out, man. I'm driving with the wife and the kids, got the windows down, and we just chilling, man, just enjoying. This album is playing, and just a beautiful vibe. This album has a beautiful feel to it, so it's glorifying the Lord. Dope beat. The production is top notch on this album. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. The production was very respectful. Dope production, man. And it was a beautiful marriage. I've said it before, I said it again. It needs a beautiful, a great song or great album has a beautiful marriage when the lyrics is dope and the production is dope, and you when you hear it, you can't really separate the two. You can't say the lyrics were better on this song here as opposed to the production and then vice versa. No, it's a beautiful marriage. I think that the production was done as if the producer and the MC sat down together and collabed on how we're gonna make this beat, how we're gonna make it sound dope. I loved it. And just like I said, we had the windows down, music was up, the kids was enjoying it. We had a great time, man, the whole weekend, and really just bumped this album, and wife and I gave input and whatever. Just a dope album. Sorry. If I had any negative takeaway from this album, it would be here. Now this is just me, mind you, right? If the point of this album, this is just me. If the point of this album is to showcase that Christian MCs can bring it just as hard as secular MCs, I think they failed. Now, that's not take away from what I said about the album. Great album. I'm bragging on this album. I boast on this album. By God's beautiful grace, dope album. But I don't believe me personally, I just don't think that this would be the album that I would take to a secular cat and be like, oh, you like, Talib Kweli? Bet, check this album out, right? And have it battle to show who's doper or who's whatever. I don't think, maybe that's probably the wrong guy because he's super dope. I don't pick whoever. I don't think this would be the album for that. Now, it's not taking away the fact that it's still a dope album, right? Great album. I love the album, but it's not. I don't think it accomplished what they were trying to accomplish with this album. I don't think it was lyrically barred heavy enough to the point where you would say it battled against. There's a guy, right, named DJ Honda. He's from Japan. He came out, years back, man. He did some dope mixtapes, man. He has, I think, 2 or 3 of them out. I remember the first one was just phenomenal. Fat Joe and a bunch of folks on the album. And so, for him to get the recognition as a dope DJ, right, and a dope beat maker, like, he had to step to the plate and step out the box and give you production and cuts unlike what you had already, to the point where you had to say, although you're Japanese, right, you're not African American, you're not from New York, and this time that was really important. So it's like, although you're Japanese, you're not from America, you're not from New York, what I'm saying, but yo, you are killing it. He stepped out the box and gave his own unique style, which was able to compete with Kid Caprice and Jazzy Jeffs and so on and so forth at that time, right? This here didn't seem to come across as that to me. It didn't step out the box and show me a different creativity to make me fall in love with it, as opposed to a Secular Cat, right? Or Secular album. For me, and it sounds bad, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but like, I think the MCs came with it. They were dope, but it wasn't that dope to the point where I would say I would stop listening to this to listen to that. I hope I'm making sense. Like, I would have put on here, like, we can go back to microphone check 1 2 1 2 with Stephen Levite, Fanatic, and Shaolin. Lyrically, my goodness, they killed that song, boy. Like, for real. And it was lyrically dope, and then the production was dope, and then they boasted on Christ to the fullest. You can go to Timothy Brendo, man, I'm sorry, brain freeze. But Evangel and Al, goodness gracious, put it right here. Was a Killing Sin. Oh my goodness, they killed that song. Like you. I mean, we go down the line of just songs that lyrically, theologically, have mad bars and dope production and glorified the Lord that I would say compete with these cats. This album to me wasn't that. Now, it's like I said, it's still a dope album. It's still a man. It was worth the money. It was worth the time, and I'm definitely gonna continue to bump in it after the fact. But it just didn't fulfill what I felt that they were trying to attempt to fulfill, if that makes sense. I probably don't make sense to some of y'all. I probably don't agree with me. That's fine. That's cool. This is my 2 cents. But yeah, I wish they would have had some more dope spitters on there, man. I would have loved a cipher at the end. Just like I said, just everybody, or a bunch of cats, whatever, maybe 2 tracks, 10 on this one, 10 on that one, and just, man, let the production go, man. Just them boys go at it, or the people, women involved, go at it. I would have loved Ambassador to be on the album. The Truth was on that album. He was just talking. Alive and Well was a dope song towards this, like the outro or close to outro or whatever, where Datin is basically just talking about his history, where he fell in love with hip hop, and I loved hearing that song. And The Truth just kind of just talks about and how things were when he first came into the game and everything. But I would have loved to hear Truth spit. Now, I'm not, Truth's been a little different lately, and so not the biggest Truth fan as of late. But I still would love to hear him spit, because I think he is his style, his skill is still dope. And I would love to hear him, saying, convey the beauty of Christ in bars. And I just think that they could have got some other dope MCs. Fanatic would have been dope. Evangel, I don't know if Evangel probably wouldn't have done it, but he could have been dope. Zaya, he would have been dope. I mean, the list goes on and on. You could have got 7 on here, and I would have loved to hear some raw bars. Just some raw bars. And we didn't get that. Dope album, just not raw bars. So, yeah. Probably contradicting myself, and so forgive me. But I really enjoyed this album, man. For it being an album, I enjoyed it. They did a good job, man. Good job. Just wish it would have been more bar heavy to compete with what the title was about, though. But, man, salute. As I always say about good albums, man, please don't stream it. Go buy this joint, spend the money, man. I don't know how they paid everybody, because they probably, they probably didn't get certain big names because they probably couldn't afford to pay everybody the same pay or get everybody the same cut. I don't know how it worked out, but I'm curious to see how that worked out, because that was crazy. There's a lot of folks on this album, man. There's a lot of folks on this album, man. They all did their thing, man. They all brought it, man. For real, I was really impressed. Really, really impressed. I'm not a 1K Pew fan, not at all, but I gotta admit, man, I heard his voice, I was like, wow, I like that. Jared's on here too. He just did the background though, man. I kind of wanted to hear, I'm not a huge Jared fan, but I kind of want to hear him spit though. I wanted to hear him, give some bars, man, for real. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm rambling at this point now. Dope album. Please go buy this joint, support him. This is only volume 1, so volume 2 is gonna be dope. I'm hoping it's dope. And I pray that this wasn't taken negatively. Pray that this was constructive criticism. But yeah. That's my 2 cents. All right, y'all. Grace.